Hey, Christy Mattoon here. I'm answering a quick question from somebody that was asking about any tips or wisdom on the eyes up technique. So you can access higher brainwave states just by rolling your eyes up. If you roll to the left, you're accessing the right brain, right? So if you roll your eyes up above the line of horizon and switch to the left, you can access your right brain. And it's just really helpful, right, to get into a higher state. And if you're accessing your right brain, you can put new information in it. If you're in a higher state, you're in your subconscious. You can start to move stuff around in your subconscious. And so that's what we were using it for. But what they were saying here was that they're having a hard time keeping their eyes up and to the left. Maybe doing it too hard or too high. I'm not sure, but it feels like a lot of effort, which is distracting. Easier to do with my eyes open. So think about it for a second. If my eyes are open and I roll my eyes up, I look up and I look to the left or the right or wherever, you actually have no muscle restriction because your eyes are open. When you close your eyelids, right, now the muscles are in a different position. So there's some physiology going on here, first of all, but there also could be some trauma locked in there, and I'll show you that in a second. So if I close my eyes and then I roll my eyes up above the line of horizon, it is a little bit harder to do, and you'll actually notice my eyes starting to bat around, right? So they start twitching and batting around, and if I roll over to the left, they keep doing that. It's just kind of what it is. Some people think that when your eyes start doing that, it's a sign that you're going into those higher brainwave states, but I've seen people do it and their eyes not twitch and bat around like that. And there's different things out there about it. If it's distracting, do it with your eyes open. If you can do the work with your eyes open. If you have to close your eyes and you look up and then you look over and everything's bopping around, take a finger and very gently go in around that bone and just rock back and forth and see if you find any tight spots. And this might sound kind of weird, right? I'm sticking my finger just inside my eyelid and I'm just rocking back and forth. I'm not moving my eyeball necessarily, although it is moving. What I'm looking for is tight muscles. Boy, and I found one right there. Holy cow. And it's funny, now this eye's bopping around, but this eye's not. So I loosened up the muscles and now this eye's quit jerking around so much. So I don't know if you can see the difference. I would loosen my muscles up around my eyes, and like whoever does this stuff, right? Whoever loosens the muscles up around their eyes, but it actually will help change your vision, which is interesting. When you stick your finger in there and gently, don't do it. Don't be rough, right? Be really gentle doing it. I used to do this all the time because I figured out it would change my vision. Right? If the muscles around there get tight and you can't reach all the muscles really deep back in there that hold your eye in place, but the superficial ones here on the outside will actually have, wow, that really feels good. Well, I haven't done that in a while. We'll actually have interplay into the ones that are deeper that you can't actually touch, okay? I actually learned this years ago in neurokinetic therapy. Okay, so linked to trauma, if a person has a hard time looking up and then over to a direction, if it's painful, I mean, if it's just distracting, that's one thing. If it's painful, there could be a trauma association. So wherever you're looking, if you drew a line from that spot back into the brain on the opposite side, into the opposite hemisphere, and you drew a straight line right back to wherever, that's probably where the trauma's locked in. Right? So this is a brain spotting technique. So we go and look around in the eyes trying to find these areas that are tight or uncomfortable. And literally just by rotating your eyes around until you feel one of those places, and it'll be tight and uncomfortable and weird feeling. Like, so I was just working over in here, and that's where I'm looking with my eyes closed. I'm looking that direction, and it's still uncomfortable and weird feeling. And so then what I would do is I would just assume that that's something, right? If I'm looking to the right, it's something in my left hemisphere. If I'm looking to the left, it's something in my right hemisphere. And I keep my gaze there And then I kind of mark that place, remember where it is, and then come back and do it again, but find the best feeling spot. And it could be right in the center, or it could be, it could be off over somewhere else, but somewhere that just feels comfortable, that's easy. And then you go back and forth between the two. So now I'm drawing a line between the place that was uncomfortable and the place that was comfortable with my eye. And what it seems to do is it seems to help loosen up the discomfort in your eye. And some people actually say after doing this that they notice a difference in their reaction to an issue, right? Whether they know what the issue is or not. When they start doing this, when they're done, they're like, oh, something changed, which is interesting. I worked with a doctor for a number of years who did this, and it was, what's the problem? Let's find it in your eye and then correct it in the eye and see if it corrects in your life. Right? So interesting, so crazy interesting. Sometimes it did, sometimes it didn't. Sometimes there was way deeper levels to it than just the tissue in the eye and where he thought it linked up into in the brain. But it was fantastic, interesting. So that could be part of it too, is that you've got something going on, right, where you're trying to look. The going too hard, going too... what did you say? Too hard or too high? So how do you judge the distance, right? My chin is parallel to the floor. Don't look up. People have a tendency to want to look up when they roll their eyes up. Try not to look up. Keep your chin parallel to the floor and then find the line of horizon, right? So I look out straight over the horizon and then I just roll my eyes up. I mean, it's not like I'm trying to totally force my eyeballs into the back of my head. Right? I know a person who does that unintentionally. It just happens to her when she goes into her mode. Her eyes turn totally white. All you can see is the whites of her eyes. My eyes don't do that. They have tried. I can't make them do that. But they will go up high enough that people are like, oh, you're going somewhere. Right? You don't have to force them that high to get to the place we're trying to get to. It's gentle. Just gently above the line of horizon. So I'm just gently looking up and then I shoot them over to the left, right? For the purposes of what we were doing in the class the other day. Does that make sense? Was that helpful? I hope so. If not, give me a yell and we'll see what we can do otherwise. If you think it's associated to a trauma and you want extra help, and this is for anybody, not just the person who asked this question. This is for anybody. If you need extra help, contact me because you're in the course. I offer reduced rates for private work. So let me know. Okay. Some people have already bought private work that are in the class. If you didn't do that in the onset, if you want to do a few private sessions, say something and we'll get you in, okay? I'll get you in. I say we because I'm talking about me and my angels. All right, I bless you. I thank you. I witness myself as light. I witness you as light, and I'll talk to you again soon.